Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for another episode of Let's Get Personal with ESU. This is a ESU Employment Services Unit webcast from Saskatoon Open Door Society. Our webcast is about sharing personal stories of our clients and employer partners to just sort of share their personal perspectives on the job market and their experiences so that wider audience can reach out to us and we can just build and maintain those good relationships in this community. So yeah, today we have our wonderful guest, Stephen Nee, and he is a business owner of Sa Learn Training and Consulting, and he's a former client of our Newcomer Enhanced Entrepreneurial Development Program, shortened as NEED program. Hello, Stephen. How are you?
Okay, I'm good. So, hello, Ajay.
So I'm just gonna talk about maybe some of the basic background questions. What do you do exactly, and where are you from?
Currently, actually, I would like to describe myself as a worker, right? Actually, just working for people. Of course, sometimes I would like to say for myself. I come from China. Okay, in 2018.
What do you do exactly in your company? Like, what are the some of the programs or any trainings that you guys are currently doing?
Are doing something to help the students from primary school to adults. And we offer language training, school subjects tutoring, and some arts tutoring. Yeah, so currently we have students around 60 to 70. Okay, and we have working staff of around 15. Okay, yeah, both Canadian teachers and Mandarin speaking teachers. Okay, French speaking teachers.
Do you have any plans of hiring Korean speaking teachers?
Good. Okay,
I'm
maybe I
just
can think.
kidding.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you said you're from China. Could you talk about how that experience was like growing up in China, and which specific area were you born and raised?
I was born and raised in a rural countryside. Okay. There's only a population of around 800 people in my village. I have gone through the studies from the primary school, got middle school, and high school. And of course, I've got a really good opportunity when I entered the secondary school. I received a really good education in my county. I would like to extend my appreciation for all the people around me who helped me a lot, a lot. Yeah.
Do you mean I guess in your journey to coming to Canada and just opening your business, just in general?
After I graduated from the university, I became a teacher. I have been teaching for university students for more than 10 years, maybe 15 years, right? And I also had my family. I had my older son. When he went to the primary school, I found that he feels more and more pleasure about his homework. And I also got a opportunity to learn that there's a program, SIMP program in Canada. So I just discussed with my wife, and why don't we have a try, right? And, and then we got in, right? So we arrived in Canada. And after arriving in Canada, I started to build my networking. So I heard a organization where can help the new immigrants. Okay, that is the Saskatoon Open Door Society, right? And then my family, my wife, my older son, and me, so just went to the Open Door to seek help. We were totally new here in Saskatoon. We just gradually to know more about Saskatoon, about the people, about the life, about the employment opportunities. We just started my business. Yeah, last year.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
such an inspiring story.
Yeah.
I definitely relate to that because I was also on SIMP program.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand possibly the struggles that you have been through. Yeah, but yeah, that's a great program that a lot of immigrants were on. And okay, well, let's really talk about the Saskatoon Open Door Society and our unit. maybe a little later in our episode because it'll be a great topic to talk about. So, how would you say like that experience of growing up in in the areas like country area that you grew up in, and how that experience sort of shape you or made who you are right now?
I was born and raised in that area where has not so much resources to make people so rich or so wonderful. So everyone have to work hard to achieve their. I was the first university student in my village. Why did I believe that? So just because of my mom, she believed that study can change a person's fate, and she teach me about that. Just keep working, studying, right? And then I just worked really hard in my study, and of course, after school, I also help my parents to do some, farms work. My parents are farmers, so I saw my parents work really hard to help to support the family, right? So this really helped me a lot to be hardworking. So I think currently I work really hard. After I entered middle school, maybe in Canada, we still in the primary school, like grade 7, grade 8, right? My uncle, who is a teacher, right? He helped me a lot. And then I entered the high school, right? Number one middle school in my county. So where has only a population of less than 200,000. So it seemed that it's getting smaller than Saskatoon, right? Over the course of my study, some of my teachers helped me a lot. This also encouraged me to become a teacher, right? So that's why I chose my major as education. So being a teacher, all my teachers always saying that you should be patient, you should be hardworking, so you should be knowledgeable. So I know that about the knowledgeable is really hard to become that. So I cannot say that knowledgeable, but I just keep doing that, right? Keep reading, keep working. The story from a small countryside, so just encourage me to keep working hard.
It's not simple at all. I
Mm.
think that's really great. That's a great story.
Mhm.
My parents are also from very small, like countryside, like
Mhm.
area from Korea, and they moved to more of to like Seoul, kind of a city, urban area, and they really worked hard to better my education and my brother's education. So I think that's a great story. It's a type of story that a lot of people can, I guess, get by. This is something that a lot of people don't really think it's important nowadays. Like as Asians, I think we understand how our parents are sometimes.
Right,
It could be
right.
sometimes very intensive or
Yeah,
intense. I think mostly it worked in a good way for me, and I think it did for you as well because you're doing obviously great and you opened up your business as a newcomer, which is in and of itself, it's very inspiring for a lot of immigrants here. So I think that's great. So do you get to like visit them a lot? I mean, I guess before the COVID-19, did you visit them a lot, like your family?
a little bit difficult for us just to come in from China so often. Since I arrived here in 2018, I just went back China once. We plan to go back to China last year. All of us know that the COVID-19, right, had prevented us from visiting them. But I do video chat with them often, just almost every few days, right? Maybe sometimes every day, some weeks every day, just video chat. But it's hard to just visit them in person, so that's a little bit got a pity.
It is, yeah, I know it's really sad, but are they at
Mm.
least happy to speak to you every time? See your
Yes,
face? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we can tell that. Yeah.
So when you first got to Saskatoon, did you experience any culture shock?
Yeah, culture shock. Definitely yes. The cultures from our Asian countries are quite different from the countries here. About the food culture, about the communication culture, about the working culture, right? Sometimes about language. It is also something that brought us to communicate better with Canadians. Let me just take an example. One time when I communicated with one staff, I forgot his name. In Open Door Society, in winter, we were discussing something about how to just about the daily talks, right? One word about the car and vehicle. When I asked, okay, how to keep us car safe in winter, in such a cold weather winter, minus 30, 40 degrees. He just felt a little bit confused about car. She just paused for like 10 seconds, I guess. Do you mean vehicle? Oh, vehicle, when I was a student, I learned that vehicle we can refer to all kinds of cars, like cars, trucks, and SUV. All these we call it vehicle. And then I just paused that vehicle? Okay, finally remember. Oh, yeah, vehicle, right? But actually, maybe this is kind of the thing. And secondly, that is about the working part. In China, if we got something, we just call, right? Something's really urgent, call, right? Not urgent, call. But here, you always just communicate through email. It's so easy to give a call. Why should we use the email so often? Email to email from. And then gradually, I realized that maybe this is a kind of life here. You better get used to it.
So funny.
Mm,
You gave me so many this memory flashbacks into my own life.
yeah.
Like the English part, right? I'm still struggling sometimes. 5 or 4 years ago, I remember my roommates and I were just talking, and I was talking about taking off or putting off my makeup. But then I didn't know that phrase. So I said, "Oh, I am going to erase my makeup." But then one of my roommates said, "Oh, okay, but Jay, I'm sorry, but it's usually we just say not erase, but we say take off or put off the makeup." So I thought that was just so embarrassing. But yeah, I learned that a hard lesson. Another thing is, yeah, about the workplace culture. That is something that I'm still learning as well. I think that just comes from experience, right? Like you can't just learn it through like textbook or anything like that. You have to like
No.
it's yeah, you do understand that.
Yeah, so we learn from being embarrassing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Making mistakes, learning from them.
Yeah.
Do your employees make a lot of mistakes?
Sometimes I think, yeah, we cannot avoid making mistakes,
Mm.
right? So even, we have been through so many years in working places, right? We still sometimes cannot understand and how to do, right? So we have to face it, right? But we learn, right? Because the people are really kind and patient here. So that's why I love here so much.
Have you been to then any other cities?
I've been some cities. We first arrived in Toronto. We stayed there for 8 days. In winter, we know that we visited some areas like University of Toronto and also some friends who reside in Toronto. Last year, we went to Vancouver, Calgary, Regina, and it seems that there's so many cities. Yeah, speaking of the living, I might prefer Vancouver because of the weather, right? Because of the weather, and also because it is so convenient for us to fly back to China, just one stop, right? Price of all things in Vancouver, just stop me, the country. And about the working in Saskatoon, it seems that sometimes may feel a little bit difficult. I have been looking for a job for half a year. This is also one of the reasons why I started my own business. So anyway, it's not a bad thing.
I guess so, but those 6 months could have been really hard for you, right? Because you had a family to support.
Actually, not so bad.
Okay.
Yeah, my wife just stays in Saskatoon for about 25 days. And then my wife and my son just went back to China because my wife was still working there, right? She didn't quit the job. She arrived here in July the 2018th. Over the first 6 months, I have been in Saskatoon Open Door Society most of the time. First of all, I participated in men's program. So I guess Arishad, right? Yeah, he knows me quite well. Yeah. And also I volunteered in Saskatoon Open Door Society, work as a front desk assistant. Yeah, welcome the people from many other countries. And after that, I also participated in program E4E program. Yeah, so it seems that keeps working, starting. Yeah, not that bad actually. Yeah, sometimes applying for the job and got interviewed.
Okay, that sounds really nice. So would you say then Saskatoon Open Door Society has been kind of an integral part in your settlement and
Mm-hmm.
in your initial. It's funny, I also got resume writing service from a downstairs newcomer information center because I was also looking for a job, and it was like 9 years ago when I first got here. But yeah, I got that help and I became an employee now. So are you liking Saskatoon so far besides the weather?
Yeah, I like to say yes, yes, yes. Why is that? First of all, because of the people here, as I said, are so kind. I like to take my neighbor, for example. The first time when I bought a house here, I couldn't find my mailbox. I just took my key, tried to find out where the box was, and tried here, there, everywhere, but I just couldn't find it. And I just turned to the help of my neighbor. She's a retired teacher. And she just helped me to find around. Unfortunately, we still couldn't find it. And then she just told me, "Oh, I'm sorry. I need to drive my daughter to the airport." Right. And then when she came back and she just rang my doorbell and she asked, "Did you find your mailbox yet?" Oh, suddenly I felt that she's so nice, so kind. And then I just told her, yes, I just did it 10 minutes ago. Yeah. So we found in the wrong direction, right? This is one example. And when I went out to do some exercises like running, right? When the people meet each other, although you are strangers, we call it, right? But we always greet each other with a smile. This is a sense of belonging, right? You're here. You are the people here, right? You are not a stranger. You are not a so-called foreigner, right? But when we all from a really big city, right? I come from a city with a population of 5.5 million. I have been starting and working there for more than 20 years. It is so crowded there. There are cars, right? There are vehicles everywhere, right? The people are not so friendly to each other, right? Besides, except you know each other, you are friends, right? Otherwise, people are not so friendly, right? So when I arrived here, so I found that sense of belonging, sense of family, and especially when I go to some organizations like Open Door Society, GGP, and SIA, they are friendly. They are friendly. Even some of their work staff have become my friends. So that's why I've been being resident here. Good.
I wholeheartedly agree with that statement.
Mm.
I'm so glad that your neighbor is that nice. I had this encounter with a person that nice as well. So I was coming back from Korea, just visiting my parents to Saskatoon back again, and I had this huge carrier that I was just like, carrying,
Mm.
but it got wheels and everything, so I was okay. And I took a bus because it was just one carrier.
Mm-hmm.
But from the bus stop to my place, it it was about 5 minutes or 10 minutes walking distance. And so I was just walking in the summer, weather was nice, I was just enjoying it. And then the stranger just pulls up and then she offers, "Do you need a ride, honey?" I'm like, "No, it's okay. It's just right there in the corner." "No, I'm still give you a ride." So I'm like, "Okay, sure." So she gave me a ride about 5 minutes walking distance. And that happens in Canada.
Mhm.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, definitely reminded me
Yeah.
of another story.
Yeah.
When I arrived in Saskatoon the second day, I need to went to the bank, right, to open my account. My landlord sent me to a wrong bank, BMO in the A Street. So I made an appointment just in the University Height, but he just drove me to the 8th Street. Well, oh my God, I found that the wrong place, but he already left for school, right? And I didn't know anybody there, no vehicles, no, and even we don't know how to take the bus there. And then one of the locals just heard my story. Maybe just he just heard my talking to some other people, and he just said, "Okay, I can drive you to the market more. There's a organization you can do something with your maybe SIN or some other cars." Okay, so he just drove me to there, and then we just bought my cell phone, and we just do some other things there. That's really kind. And also my another neighbor just next door. Last year, when I shoveled my snow late, and he just helped me right to show. Yeah, so that is I think one of the biggest reason why I like Saskatoon so much. Yeah.
I agree. Absolutely.
Mhm.
So, was there like a specific reason that you chose to come to Canada? Why not America, Australia, or any other places?
Yeah, to be honest, I cannot tell you the specific unique reason there. Previously, we were thinking move to Australia. Some of my friends moved to Australia, and we learned a lot of information about Australia. And when I consulted this in one of the agents, she just told us, "Why don't you guys go to Canada? Canada is a great country." And I just gradually learned some information about the Canada. Canada is a country that really welcome people from all over the world, right? They don't have really some discriminations like race discriminations or some other things will make you feel uncomfortable. And then I said, okay, Canada, that's it. Yeah, that's the reason.
It's kind of true that even though we might face some mild type of racism, but I don't think I've really experienced like harsh, like overt racism towards me.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so far I've been liking Saskatoon as well. So yeah, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
What would you have said to yourself then before like moving to Canada? Like, were there things that you wish you knew back then?
Actually, I don't have don't have more information about that. When we are thinking about the moving to Saskatoon, moving to Canada, so we just think, okay, we cannot plan so much, and it's not we don't have so much information about this.
No, that's okay. I guess I can elaborate myself more. So,
Mhm.
do you wish that you were more prepared for coming to Canada? Like, were there things that you could have done better before arriving at Saskatoon?
Before we moved here, we actually didn't do much investigation. When we arrived in Saskatoon, we can say that we don't didn't know anybody in Saskatoon, right? So if we could, so we could just learn more information from like internet, right? Online. Learn to some a know some a organizations or some other people more, right? And or just maybe we are not that kind of person we to like to do so much preparation about a country, because the resources are not so reachful for us at that moment, right? If so, we could just join some local organizations or just social networking. Yeah, so this could be something really helpful for newcomers, right? At least you know that the life here, the job opportunities, or some other things we can do before we leave.
In operating your business, are there specific challenges that you faced before, and how do you sort of overcome those challenges or difficulties?
Our target clients are mainly Chinese people, and we only have the source to advertise our programs through. We have a social media called WeChat. You might know this, right? WeChat, and we have so many groups. So I have joined so many groups. So I just advertise my programs there, and this is really limited. It is estimated that there are more than 2,000 groups, 2,000 WeChat group in Saskatoon. I only joined just less than 30 groups because we don't have the resources to get my clients. So it will be really difficult, right? So I have to do it from a very small part, just from from a few students, right? Gradually, I advertise some, I organized some activities like students can take part in some classes before they sign up. After we got some students and the students introduce their classmates, their friends, so that's gradually we have some more students, right? But it's still a challenge for us. We don't know how to advertise better. And secondly, I am thinking about to advertise in some media, but it needs money, right? It needs fund. So it is another challenge for me. We are not a business investor, right? We don't have so much fund to support this kind of business. I'm still thinking about how to advertise better. Okay, yeah, one more thing, how to maintain your clients. This is another challenge. So we have to do, services after teaching. So we have to build a really close relationship with students, with parents.
Do you think there has been maybe also COVID-19 specific challenges?
For the first wave of COVID-19, we have to close for a certain period, right? People are were more aware of that pandemic for the first wave, but the second wave, it seems that people became less aware of that. But even though people still think about, okay, we'd better stay at home, right? And now we conduct more online classes. To be honest, the result of the online classes are not so perfect, right? Sometimes we have to acknowledge that this is a challenge for us to how to maintain the student enthusiasm through online classes, especially for some big classes. One-on-one is okay, right? It's not difficult to deal with, but for a larger group, it will be a challenge.
How difficult is it for you or teachers to do online classes?
For example, some students just don't turn on their video, right? And the teacher actually have no idea what the student is doing. Just like I have no idea what Nina is doing now, right? Because she just turned on the video. That is the case. And sometimes even we are turning the video on, right? And I have no idea whether students are really focused on the screen you are sharing, right? Maybe they just they are reading through some websites, so we cannot really focus on the learning outcomes so effectively. This is the challenge, but we are trying to do that. So make the class size smaller, right? Which will make the teacher easier to manage the group. So we usually now limit the class size to less than 6. In the meantime, it really increased the cost of our operating. Like previously, they may take a class like 10 or 12, and now I have to separate them into 2 classes, right? Yeah, but it is the special period. So I still believe that I can just do it like that. Just want to make sure the better teaching outcomes.
Yeah, I certainly hope for everyone, including you, that this whole pandemic situation just goes away already, right? I mean, it's been hard
Yeah,
on everybody.
yeah,
Yeah, hopefully it just goes away
mm-hmm.
anytime soon.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get into more of a personal aspect of
Okay.
your stories. Are you nervous?
No, that's
That's good.
fine. Yeah, yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
What were some of your personal challenges in your life? Something that you can share with us, and how did you like manage, or how do you like overcome them?
You mean my over my life? If there are some challenges, right? First of all, I would like to say something about my education. Just now I said I come from a farmer's family, right? Chinese farmers are not so rich, especially in some southern parts. They are not so to help their families, especially for their children to get better education. In my country's side, if you received a certain education is enough. So in most cases, they believe so. So especially I'm the oldest son in my family. My parents has ever thought about it. Okay, when you finished your secondary school, so you can go home, right? You can go home to help families, right? But I just persuaded my parents, uh, I don't really want to become the life you are doing, right? I want to live a different life. I persuaded them. And, the most difficult part is about the tuition fee, right? So I usually worked in my summer vacation. So I work as a labor. I work as a labor to earn some money. When I finally got into the university, of course, at that time, the tuition fee has been improved so much. I still did my tutoring job at the time to earn my life expenditure and pay tuition as well. I also worked really hard to earn some scholarship. Right. So to be honest, that's really sufficiently supported my study. And the second biggest challenge is about whether I have to went back to my county to work as a secondary school teacher. I choose as a education major, right? So I can work as a teacher in my own county. But I just finished 1 semester. To be honest, I just quitted that job and I went back to the city where I was studying. I was unemployed then, right? And then I just worked in a language training center for half a year. And then I got the university to apply the job in the university. So since then, I became a teacher in the university. Being as a teacher, you just had a bachelor degree is not enough, right? There's another challenge too. So I continue my master's study. But when I was studying the graduate, and I had I met my wife, right? So we had a family, right? We had to settle down in city. So we had to buy a apartment in China, right? It really another big challenge for us. But I really thank my father-in-law. He supported a lot to pay some part to buy my first apartment, right? And then we settle down, we work hard. So since then, I have been really working so hard to make money to support the family, to pay every kinds of bills. But to be honest, through the life in the so-called big city, right? So which made me work even hard and know how to balance the life and work. Right?
No,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love hearing
Yeah.
those
Mhm.
stories. Yeah. I think that obstacles and those ripples that we go through, those things, harsh, adverse situations, they shape who we are, right?
Mhm.
Without those situations, we're not going to be who we are right now. And,
Mhm.
if you love who you are right now, and I think you would appreciate all those struggles that you have gone through. And I
Right.
certainly do with mine as well. So I think
Mhm.
that's a great story. And you can tell your children that too, and they can learn from it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you did mention all those things, and I'm just wondering if there have been people around you that really inspired you to be who you are right now today. And so if you could give your thanks to three people or just even one person that have been most influential to your life, who would that be?
Oh, yeah. There are so many people who have helped me over the course of life. The first person I would like to thank is about my uncle, my mom's brother. He is a teacher. He actually supported me a lot. When I in the grade 7, and he just kept me in around him, right? He just graduated from the university and became a teacher, and then he just supported me and just taught me a lot. Even nowadays, he's still talking to me, so he just teach me to be a kind person. Yeah. And secondly, I would like to thank my mom, as I said. She is kind of different farmer living in a countryside. She just supported me to study, to pursue my career. She actually just teach me to be hardworking and diligent. And the third person I would like to thank is my wife. And of course, she supported me so much after the marriage. She is working so hard too. She has to manage the work, manage the family, many things. Even nowadays, I am doing my business, and she's taking my second baby. Yeah, and in the meantime, she also helped me to deal with many things in that company. Actually, some other people I have to extend my appreciation, but I cannot just name it one by one. Yeah, so many people. Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad that those
Mm.
people were around you and when you needed
Hmm.
them. And yeah, that's great. So what would be your biggest passion like in life right now?
His passion is my family. We are living here. We don't have so many relatives here, right? Actually, we don't say any relatives here. We only got my families, right? My wife, my older son, my second son. Yeah, my families are my biggest a passion to do that. We chose to live in Canada. We are pursuing a better life in Canada, right? So we are doing business. We hope that we can do better in the future.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Hmm.
So family is your power, family is your motor, just a backbone that gets you going, right?
Yes, yes.
Right. So let's talk about maybe now your experience as a newcomer when you first got here. How did you hear about Saskatoon Open Society in the first place?
I met one of the friends in Toronto. We first arrived in Toronto. We stayed there for 8 days. One of my friends mentioned that, well, why don't you seek some help from an organization called Open Door Society. The Open Door Society can help people from other countries to settle down better. Okay, then when I arrived in Saskatoon, the second day, right? Actually, the second day, we took the bus. We took the bus to the downtown and then to seek the help. So unfortunately, I'm not a good memory to remember the name. So the counselor who helped me, I remember that she is a lady who comes from India, and she at that time she's studying a PhD in the University of Saskatchewan, and I know that she has been transferred to Swiss, and now she's taking care of her baby, right? I just forgot her name, unfortunately. Yeah, this is like she smiles all the time, right? Just make people feel, this is so good. This kind of feeling is so good. And after that, I just took part in some programs in Open Door Society and met more people. This kind of feeling always encouraged me to help other people, right? And in the meantime, this is kind of good networking. I meet some people in the Open Door Society, and these people are still connecting. We are still keep connecting with each other. Yeah, maybe in the future we may help each other, right? As well. Yeah.
Exactly. That would be wonderful.
Mm.
Collaborative work, yeah. So you mentioned something about networking and just like connections. How important do you think connections are in, I guess, job search for newcomers and also maybe for those who are interested in starting their own businesses?
Definitely, it is very important for newcomers because newcomer have no any idea about the things happened in Saskatoon, right? Especially when you don't know how to do that, you'd better to take part in a certain organizations, certain programs. So that's why I chose to participate some programs in Open Door Society and also doing some volunteering. Because these kind of activities can keep you network with more people, because these people may help you in some ways, not just really focus on the job, right? But they can offer some news, offer some information for you to to refer. You may even some advice on how to communicate with the people in your working place, right? And even some of them can become your references. I know that the references are really important after you get interviewed, right? These references may say something really good, right, for the employer, right, which may help you. Thirdly, also, the networking can keep you not so lonely, especially we newcomers come from other countries. We don't know much about the locals, right? They can help you feel we are family, right? We are not alone. Yeah. So that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I really agree. Just in this, especially in this hard time, right? We
Mm-hmm.
just really need each other in the community. We need to be friends with one another and just to support so that we can get through this together.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really touching and it's great. Can you maybe like walk us through like the whole process of how you got to know the need program and the Janet, your employment counselor before, and how like you planned the business like with her? What was it like?
I have been seeking a job for the first half a year, right? And also, I have taken part in some programs in Open Door Society. volunteered in the Open Doors Society, so I know some programs run by Open Doors Society. They also send the emails to the clients, right? So these also help me to know more about the program. And I have been talking to some people in the Open Doors Society, like I ever discussed this with Richard and the EFOE teacher Laurie Bestie, and also Dolora. Yeah, so
Right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Dolora. Yeah, we've been discussing the things about the possibilities, right? And they just suggested me to think about my background, right? And yeah, I just think I have been teaching for so many years. I have been tutoring for so many years. So this is my great strength. And then I just discussed this with my wife, right? So it's a good opportunity for us to start, right? So we just started from, actually just from my own house. Yeah, home-based business. So for the first few months, and after getting more students, so we are thinking about, yeah, we'd better rent a commercial place, right? And then we started to looking for a place that's suitable to do classroom, right? And then we just found one which was not too far from my house, which located in the Willow Grove. Yeah, just right beside Willow Grove School. When we mention that, maybe some parents will know, oh, I know that place, right? So gradually we have some more classes. And also, because of the networking, I know more people, and these people are so professional. I have some instructors who are native speakers, and actually they are teaching for us. So just because of the networking, and since there are more and more students and more concerns of whether we can open more classes, so that's why we just started from a language class, and then we have some other after school programs, right? Like we help the students to learn better about the math, about the science, and so on. And then I met another teacher who know painting so well. So that's why we started the painting classes, right? And besides, some parents were asking, do you have some French classes? Oh, and then I suddenly realized that we can just open French classes, and now we have some French classes, right? And even we open a Japanese class, right? Yeah. And just now you mentioned like Korean, and yeah, I don't know whether people are interested in the Korean class, maybe, right? So we can we can think about it, right? So yeah, that's why we can just make the classes more. So long as there are needs, so we can create, yeah, the classes for them, right? And yeah, so we just keep doing that. And although the pandemic affected a little bit, but we believe that we can overcome that.
Yeah, I think your business model is so good that you get to branch out to just about to every field, like language, any sort of skills training, an art painting class. I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
Oh wow. How does it work? Is it still happening? Is it offline, in person?
Only these classes we still are running in person.
Mm,
Okay, because it's really so hard to teach the students to sketch online, right? Because sometimes teacher have to help you, have to guide it. Okay, how to paint this, right? But we actually are taking really strict protection, right? So students have to wear masks during the class. So before they come in, so we have to take the temperature to make sure they are not got the fever, right? They have to hand sanitize all the time, right? Yeah, to guarantee the security. So this is the mode we are doing about the sketching.
wonderful.
Mhm.
So we are getting close to the last section of the interview. What advice or takeaway would you give to the newcomers who are coming to Saskatoon, looking for jobs, or they're just trying to maybe start their own businesses like you did? What advice would you give to them?
So do you mean only just focus on the looking for a job and doing business, or?
Yeah, in Saskatoon.
Okay. Yeah, to be honest, I'm not so experienced to say so, but I just want to introduce some my personal experience, right? Of course, first of all, you need to do some research. You need to know what the market is, right? What kind of the clients you can get, and how many clients you can get, right? And secondly, you are supposed to do a certain plan to do some advertisements, right? What kind of resources that you can post your advertisements. And thirdly, you can continue to do some networking with more people because these people are also a resource of advertisements. And even these people may help you in the future about for your business. Maybe sometimes they can become your clients. And fourthly, I definitely suggest that so long as you decide to do that, you are supposed to make it as a really legal one. You cannot just do it without any permissions, without any licenses, right? Get enough qualifications to do that. You know, about the teachers, we have a certain requirements, right? For example, all our teachers have a certain teaching certifications, like teaching language. You are supposed to get like a test, so or at least you graduated from the education in the University of Saskatchewan, right? This is the requirements, right? So you should make it professional, right? Make it legal. Other parts, the difficulties we may encounter, without a doubt, but we should be confident, right? We can overcome that.
Yeah, as long as we have right people around us, we should be able to get through it, right?
Yeah.
Last question is there something that that you wish I would have asked you and then I just didn't or forgot to do? Is there anything that you'd like to say?
Nope. So you're doing good. I am doing good, right?
That's good.
So yeah, everything good, perfect. Yeah.
Awesome.
Mm.
Okay, well, yeah, that's the end of it. So thank you, Stephen, so much. And I would like to also say thank you to our audience for listening to us and just keeping updated with our new episodes. So yeah, thank you, Stephen, for your great and wonderful, speech and these wonderful answers.
Okay. You are so welcome, Jay. So thank you. It's so nice to meeting you guys to meet people here.
Mhm.
Hmm.
So yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, or feedback to give us, please email us at esuwebcast@sods.sk.ca. Again, thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day. Bye bye.